It's actually a free call called the Sate Sleeve. G'day everyone, Adam here, Going Overland. This week I want to talk to you guys about our Sat phone and what we did for communications on our lap of Australia and why I recommend a Sat phone. Alright guys, before we did a lap of Australia, we actually did a solo crossing of the Simpson Desert while we were towing. It wasn't a full crossing, we went 3/4 of the way in, turned around and went back out the hard way. So we had friends bail on the last month before we left. I had done all this prep work, I'd done all the research, been out there a couple of times and knew what we were in for. I'd also taken a trailer out there once before, so I knew we could do it. But with being solo in an old vehicle, I wanted a backup, something that I could call anyone or talk to anyone I needed. So did a bit of research and we found the Optus Sate Sleeve. It was, yeah, highly recommended. Sounded like it was really good. Worked really well across Australia and good price too. Okay, so that was one of the big considerations, was the price of it. So it cost us about $1,000 to buy outright, and it's about $15 a month for a plan. And you can cancel that plan anytime you want and start it up again. So there's no fees involved in doing that. So if you're at home for 6 months not going anywhere, you can cancel that. The thing with us is though, a lot of the times when we go away camping, even just for a weekend, we're out of phone range. So we don't cancel ours because $15 a month, we go away once a month, we've always got it. And it's not just for in an emergency to call 000 and say there's been a car accident. There's quite a fair few reasons why you want a Sat Sleeve or a Sat phone. It was about $1,000 to buy it. It sounds expensive, but if your life's on the line, I'd be happy to pay $20,000 or $200,000, you know, if my life depended on it. And your phone can go in it, but it connects via Bluetooth. So you got to get an app before you leave phone service. Sat Sleeve hotspot. Okay, it'll connect to the satellites. So there we go, it's connected. And now I can call anyone anywhere in Australia, anywhere in the world, as long as I've got line of sight to the sky. So in places like rainforests, it might be a bit difficult. But in the outback, it is a perfect solution to, you know, for communication, emergency communication. And like I said, $1,000, if your life depends on it, you'd pay anything, wouldn't you? Okay, so one of the reasons is, yeah, there's an accident, call 000, you can get a helicopter out to wherever you are. If you're lost or anything like that, you can call the SES, the police, fire, ambulance. You can also call 1300 Health, and you can speak to a doctor directly. And if there's a medical procedure that you need to be doing to one of your kids or to your wife or your partner, they can talk you through it. Hopefully it's not a serious situation, hopefully it's something small, but at least being able to talk to someone there and then, instantly, you've got a better chance of survival if something's serious going on. Another reason is, say something happens to your vehicle and you're not sure, right, and you don't know what's going on, you can ring up, speak to a mechanic on their phone, their landline. If you have a HF radio, I don't know, you have to speak to someone else with a HF radio, then they've got to communicate the situation to someone else, and then it's got to go back again before it gets to you. With things like a Sat phone or a Sat Sleeve, you can call someone direct. You can call a mechanic, you can call an insurance company if you have to, your roadside assist. We have Allianz, they do right around Australia. Anywhere we are, you could call them up, get a tow truck if we needed. provided we're not in a serious off-road situation. If it was a dirt road, remote area, they'd come and pick us up. So being able to talk to someone directly is a fantastic benefit over something like a HF radio. Another thing with this is it actually comes apart. In an emergency, if you didn't have your phone, because this connects to your mobile, there's an SOS button. You can press that, you don't need your phone, and you can call, it calls directly to 000. So in an emergency, you don't need the phone to connect to it. One of the times we've had to use it was at Croomba Tops. We knew there was a bit of bad weather coming through. We didn't think it was too bad, but we come up the back way and we didn't realise what the other road was like getting down. Bad weather come through and it was a lot worse than we were thinking. We actually got on through my phone to the weather app, and we could see that the rain was ending the next day. After 2 days of solid rain, it was ending and it was going to dry up for the rest of the week. So really handy to be able to jump on a weather app, see what the weather's doing anywhere in Australia. Yeah, it calmed our nerves. We were quite anxious on this mountaintop how we were going to get down. Another time we used it was on our big lap when we had the power steering issues along the Plenty Highway. We were still 1,000 kilometres from Alice Springs. Who knows how far to the nearest mobile tower. We could call Patrol Apart, get them to get the new alternator sent out and out to Alice Springs as soon as they could. So it was there when we were in the area. If we had a mobile booster, if we purchased that instead of the sat phone, we would probably have to be 50 kilometres from Alice Springs before we had phone range. So a lot of people asking, you know, would a mobile booster suit? It depends on your trip and how remote you're going to go. For us, it wouldn't cut it at all. Anytime you're, you know, a greater distance from a town, there was no phone reception at all. Telstra was pretty good coverage. Optus had very poor coverage. But a lot of the times there was nothing at all. And it doesn't matter if you had a booster or not, you wouldn't get range because you're just too far away from those towns. So that's why a Sate Sleeve for us was also a better thing than a booster or a HF radio. Now, a lot of people don't realise this, but when someone calls us on the Sate Sleeve through the SAT number, they just get charged their regular call costs. So I know with Optus, if your regular call cost to another phone is free, it's actually a free call to call the Sate Sleeve, the SAT phone. If we call out, it's about $1 a minute, and I'll have to put in below what it costs for data. But yeah, about $1 a minute. So what we sometimes do is we text people. I think it's 50 cents a text. We'll text someone, hey, can you call us back? They'll call us back, and then we can talk as long as we want. Hey, what's the weather doing in our area? What's happening here? Can you look up road conditions? Doesn't cost us a cent. It cost us 50 cents for the original text, I should say. All right, so would I recommend a Sate Sleeve? Definitely, 100%. If you're going anywhere remote in Australia, especially if solo, but even if you are with another car, they are so handy to have. It's such a good insurance. Sure, you might not need it at all. Fingers crossed you don't, but if you do need to talk to someone, anything at all, it's there, ready to go. Turn it on, wait 30 seconds or a minute for it to connect to the satellites, and away you go. You don't need a special license like you do with a HF radio. You don't need any training. It's, for us, we don't go anywhere without it. It's really vital, especially if you've got kids. Maybe you're getting on in years, you might have a few health concerns. Really good. If you're driving somewhere, say you're driving around Australia and you're doing a road trip, you're not going remote like us. Say you're going from 80 Mile Beach up to Broome. That's about 300 kilometres from memory, very remote. There's probably very little phone range along that road from memory. You have a condition or even something with your vehicle, mate, you'll be thanking yourself you bought one of these. So also on the trip there were 2 occasions where we come really close to really needing this thing. Both of them were at Wolf Creek Meteor Crater. I was doing a walk around the rim by myself. Larissa and the kids had gone back to camp, and towards the end I nearly tripped. I sort of stumbled, and I very easily could have rolled my ankle or done a lot worse. Very uneven ground, very rocky surface to land on. I had this with me in the backpack with my phone. Could have easily have called AAO if I needed it, or found the ranger's number, called one of the members at home that we were regularly in contact with. Could have done so many things, so I'm glad I had it with me in the backpack just in case. And then not long after, when we were packing up and leaving, one of our brakes on the trailer seized on. It was a real battle to get it off, but if I couldn't get it off, we could have used this to call for a tow truck or call a mechanic and ask him for their advice. How do we get the drums apart, the brake apart? So right then and there, I was so thankful we had this thing with us. Alright guys, that's my opinion on the Sate Sleeve. Like I said, highly recommend it. We paid full retail price. We have no association with Optus or this brand. There are a few other brands. Telstra do one too, so do a bit of research before you decide which way you want to go. We do like the Optus one. We do like the cost that's involved with it. Very affordable, and this unit's been very reliable. We do keep it in this waterproof box that we got from Supercheap, I believe, with some foam, and that way this is not getting knocked around. The antenna is extendable, so it helps storage, it does. And yeah, plugs off USB to charge it up, and away you go. Like I said, you've got to have that app first before you go, but that's it. Plug and play. Really good. Highly recommend it. I definitely wouldn't do a serious trip without one of these. And even like I said, for the local trips, we still bring it with us. We have it there. It's a good insurance policy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you give us a thumbs up. Hope you learnt something from it. And we'll see you on the next video. Cheers guys.